All right, hello, hello. Looks like it's working. Sorry, I went to go get started and yeah. Uh Kip had absconded with all my stuff, right? The cord was gone again. He keeps doing that to me. So anyway, um yeah, so we got some movement coming in today. We know what's coming in. Um, we have FOMC today. Some interest rate rises coming in. Um So far, movement has been pretty decent, right? Movement's been pretty decent so far. Consumer confidence in U.S. Whoops, that was yesterday. There we go, sir. Doesn't change too much. This over here. Lovely. It says no internet. Okay, maybe that's back. Okay, we'll see. I don't know. It said no internet, but it's showing me that's online. I don't know. We're gonna roll with it. Um, so obviously with FOMC coming in later today, um, kind of a biggie, right? Kind of a biggie. Um, Thus far, again, across the board, we're seeing a little bit of dollar weakness, which again tends to be kind of what we talked about. Maybe seeing some weakness, and then maybe there'll be some strength rolling back in again. It depends what they kind of have to say. Um, Again, a lot of the up until now, though, this is where we were yesterday. Compared to where we were yesterday in the last 24 hours. Really, what happens now till 2 o'clock is really what's going to matter the most. So, okay, yeah, I get that. So across the board, dollar yen, we mentioned that is going to be the trickiest one to play right now because yen is going to act as a proxy as well. Besides that, everything is well within. Again, dollar Swiss yesterday, we talked about that one continuing to push lower. There was actually some trade setups in that one. Pound, again, pound has. I don't want to say the pound has re-strengthened or continued. I mean, I guess it kind of has. Yesterday, we had that European weakness. Um, and again, we are seeing the euro pound down another 34 pips today. I mean, it pushed all the way down. So that's pretty decent. Euro dollar up about 31. So not really a whole lot. Um, Nothing. Okay. To get girl at 4. Sorry, she just got out of my mom's follow-up appointment. She's updating me that mom is good. Okay. So, again, a lot of today's movement is going to be in preparation for FOMC, and you can see a lot of the headlines over here. Dollar yen, faces new struggle with FOMC. U.S. Federal Reserve likely lift interest rates to 22-year high, and it makes it sounds crazy like that, right? It's like a 22-year high, right? I mean, I don't know. Go back 22 years. We're talking about 2001 time frame, right? Kind of seems weird. You're like, wow, that was 22 years ago. Y2K was 20. Yeah. Um, and then again, know what to expect. So every news article out there right now is going to be based off of FOMC and what FOMC is going to bring today. Um, and justified. And it's not so much the raise. I think universally, I mean, the raise I think does absolutely nothing. I think everybody knows the raise is coming. They've said it. I don't think that really provides really much. I think the FOMC statement about are they going to raise it again? We heard numerous people mention, two raises, and then probably there. Who knows? They may say this is it, right? That could be the message we get. Like we've raised, but this is it. We won't be raising anymore. We're going to wait and see, and we're going to leave it here for some time. We know that message and that kind of I don't want to say style of thinking, but that's what they said. They would raise it, into restrictive levels and then hold it there for quite some time, until we got inflation back down to where it needs to be. Um, I'm curious today to see if they say we'll go one more or if this is it, right? We did one last one in there, and then we want to see if it continues at the pace that is reasonable or that we are happy with. Um, I think that sends the market up with a pretty decent run. Um, if they do that, we're not opposed to additional raises if inflation doesn't come down to where we want it to be, right? If they say one of those statements, I think also today it could be, that could potentially turn it negative. I think that the market is really waiting for like that, the box check of, okay, they're done, right? So once we get that box check, they're done. I think is where again I think that really kind of sets the market in the right direction for where it's kind of it's the start of the next trend, right? And again, whatever they say, it can always technically be changed, right? I mean, nothing that they say right now is dead set in stone that it will have to happen. You know, obviously everything is data dependent. We could see obviously a change, um, which again, it's not a bad thing, not bad, right? But we're not there yet. I still think again, I think there's this one and one more is what I think, and then I think they'll stop. I think they'll be done for the rest of the year. It's just I think the biggest thing is we really need that inflation number to really start kicking back. But we know, compared to last year, we're gonna get some weird readings in the next one or two. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the weird part. Um, so that's today. Obviously, a huge monumental, big piece of it. Tomorrow, a lot of news out there. We have GDP numbers coming out. We have unemployment numbers out there. We have the euro also raising up to 4.25. And again, I'm pretty sure that they'll do this one. I don't think there's a chance of a surprise. We've seen a lot of European weakness, but um, I think right now, I think again, I think this one comes in, and yes, we've seen a lot of weakness lately. I think after the dollar move today, if we can get weak dollar where this one goes up, I think we go to get weak euro tomorrow. Um, so yeah, I think that's what we're looking for. Um, yeah, yeah, it's not bad. Besides that, again, obviously the press conference is going to be again before we meet. That's going to talk about what the European Union's kind of plan is. And then pending home sales, nothing. And then BOJ, monetary policy rate, no change. It's the end. They just don't do that. One day they will. One day they will. And we're like, oh my God, they did it for the first time ever. Um, it just, that's the end. The end is just its own little, I don't want to say its own little world, but it's kind of its own little financial world. They just do things differently there, right? Different type of economy. Um, so we'll see. I'm expecting these numbers will be vastly different by this time tomorrow. Okay. Now going across VIX. VIX obviously up a little bit today. Everybody's concerned. I mean, again, I think the chances of them doing a double raise today are basically slim to zero. I think that I just don't see that happening. I think it's the 0.25, and the big question is going to be the language. So does that have the markets on edge a little bit? Yeah, absolutely, it should. I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, could they surprise and I don't know. Could they surprise and not raise this time? Could they put a pause in and throw everybody for a whammy? I think there's a much bigger chance that they don't raise, even though I do believe they will. I believe there's more of a chance that they would not raise than do a double raise, if that makes sense. Okay. So that's where we're at. Now the dollar, we're a little bit lower than where we were yesterday, and you can see we kind of hit our peak at that 9:30 time frame, that 101.50. We've pulled back, and we're kind of in an area of buyers in here, and we've kind of pushed up a little bit. Right now with this kind of really heading back down again, and Europeans really haven't done much with it. The Europeans had it right here, and it kind of went down a little bit, kind of went up a little bit, and kind of went there. So it's not really. Honestly, it's not really moving it around too much, right? Typically, we see more movement ahead of time, and we don't. It's rather mute. So, I don't know if that really tells us much about it, but I do know we're at an areas of buyers, and right now, compared to yesterday, it looks like it's more up. Indices besides the Russell, again, I don't know what the Russell knows, but ESNQYM all down. YM just down a little bit. Russell up, zero point 0.7 compared to where the close was, up at 1990. Not a bad year, right? Um, where it is right now, can it deteriorate? Sure, sure. But I think until the news really comes out, I think overall, if the market right now is setting everything down, I think that's in anticipation for it to go higher today. I really feel like if they just say, I'm really torn whether they'll do one more and one more, or you know, if they get rid of that messaging, right, about, oh, it's day dependent, we'll see next time how it goes. Where like if they're like, if the message is, yeah, we're raising it and then we are done, right? This will be the last one, or we believe that this is the last one. I feel like that is the gasoline on the fire that the market wants to go higher. I feel like that's really what we're looking for, right? That's the message, right? Um, Commodities. currently right now, all in the red. Now, I wish that was a good thing. Yesterday we said there's nothing holding us back to, 79.80. The high was 79.58. All right, I'm sorry, that's the days range. You can see the high yesterday, 79.90. So it came right up to the line that we mentioned at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then turned and thankfully retreated a little bit. That's what I said. I was like, we don't have a whole lot there once we break through, and it did. It went all the way up, grabbed it. The scary part about this one, and again, we'll break this down a little bit more, is got a level there, and we've kind of tested it. But if we punch through again, it's like, oh, listen, there's your confirmation, there's your first hit. It's like, oh God, can we go to the 80? So yeah, it is Wednesday, so we are getting. And actually, let me just bring that over right now. Didn't open it up first. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of a surplus, right? So not the worst. Right? Not the worst. Right? Could be worse. Could be worse than that. But who knows if that's what I was actually going to come in. But yeah, it's red, but it's up at 97 or $79. So not fun. Natural gas did pull back a little bit. Gold down just a smidge, right? And silver, again, back down to that 2460. Ugh. Kind of where it should be right now. Again, it was a lot more volatile yesterday. It wasn't really justified to be that volatile, but it was. We'll see for anticipation today how this one moves. Again, I think if they say that this is it, and we're happy with inflation, we're just going to let it roll right now. I think silver is definitely a buy. I think silver takes off. I think gold will be a little bit more muted today. I don't think we're going to get as much movement out of gold. And again, gold does tend to be a lot more muted. Silver should move twice as much. So, that's where it is. Aussie dollar. So Aussie dollar, we talked about a potential trade here. Now we were talking about, taking advantage of this racetrack, and you can see it at 12 o'clock. We kind of hit it, but it was up and then down, straight up and straight back down again, and then started to put a new top in. It looks like traders at 61.8 actually stepped in and started to put this in, and then we knew that we knew that we had some data here, and boom, big push to the downside, right? That was all the CPI data, right? So we knew that something was happening, and the CPI data all came in weak, and that was why we got this, and boom, right? Big push to the downside. So we can take that out now. That news is over with. We can adjust this slightly. We're going to adjust that up there just a little bit, because again, it did kind of put a new base in there. Let's put this still fine. We're going to put that there, which is great. It gets us in before the 61.8. Let's take that off. Yeah, I'm good with that one. All right. So right now, this one is set up more for a dollar weakness. Or I'm sorry, dollar weakness based trade. And there's two zones here. There's one that we've hit a few times, and then a new level was put in, and the news spike last night ended up grabbing that level. Now, this is a nice little level. I do like this one. I know, yeah, level on top of a level, we typically take the farther level, and that's true. But again, this is a decent kind of one candle bottom. The red was deeper than the green with a big explosion off. Like everything about that one. So it was a nice little kind of news kind of reversal, right? Big parabolic move in one candle, right? Opened here, shot 46 pips down. Now, again, it does have a 46 pip ATR, but at 4 hours, only 26. So, almost double. Nice push down, nice push back up again, and then we kind of came down and touched it again. So right now with the U.S. session rolling in, again, we're seeing a little bit of dollar weakness. We'll see as this one goes further. I would like it to continue higher. Yeah, there's one right here. I think so. This is more of like an intraday based trade. It's got only about 20 pips, so it absolutely could cover that. Hmm. I mean, now that the news is out, it's got a 26. So the 4 hours, 26 pips, that puts us right up in there. Um, hmm. Wondering if there'll be a news trade sitting right there. Right. Wondering if there'll be a news trade sitting right there. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. About 17, 18 pips, right? You can see obviously this whole area here, sellers. Maybe it goes a little bit higher, but there's a little confirmation there. That little confirmation level is a 50, and magically, if you look to where the other side is, it's a 61.8. So I think anywhere inside of that level before news, I think would be a pretty decent trade. Have that come up, um, right? Something along those lines. Interesting. Yeah, it's only like 8 pips, so it's not very big. We may be able to take more. Well, let me see. Let me see. Um, 10's right there, so let's move that up just a little bit. Not bad at all. Look at that. It's not even pushing it through the low of the bottom. Mm. That one's not bad. I think you watch this one. I think at 1:30 in the afternoon. I think you go look at this one. If we haven't broken through that top side, I think this could be a decent reversal. But again, it is a dollar strength based move. We've had so much weakness in right now. Again, this rallying up would be again dollar weakness. So it's kind of setting up that way. Kind of setting up that way. Um, Aussie yen. All right. So let's see. We got Aussie yen here. So Aussie yen, we kind of missed the Harry Potter yesterday. We talked about it coming through breaking. It ended up doing it late last night. We were sitting right in here yesterday, and we talked about, hey, listen, there's a little bit of a top. You could have taken this smaller top in here, and you can see it deteriorated all the way back down again. Um, it did base on top of the level. It did give us a pullback. It just didn't get all the way up to the zone. We talked about 94.40. It looks like we missed it by. It made it to 94.42. So I missed it by a little tiny bit, but there was a 61.8 in there. So I probably should have adjusted this. This would have been a better spot because that's where the rally was. So my bad on that one. Um, what? Um, this is what I got on this one. Look at this. Mm, It's only 12. So look at that. Aussie's at a 23.6 here in the Aussie dollar. Aussie yen also at a 23.6. This one needs to go just a little bit more. Just get that. Yeah. 9.3 is sitting right there. Not a bad one either. Again, the 23 will probably get a little bit more sellers in. Um, but again, this is a confirmed kind of a drop base drop, right? Coming up, touching, confirming. It'd be nice if it was a 23. I think it'd be a better trade. But again, with both of these kind of sitting here at 23.6 levels. And again, this one also has it too. There's a little triangle right there. I mean, there's no denying there's a trade right there as well. So, um, yeah, another 5 or 6 pips. So it's kind of within range also. Um, and again, I would actually be all in if it hits here and comes back down again. I kind of like that. I'd much rather take this long from news, right? I'd much rather be this way than the top. But I think either one of them works. We're just floating in the middle right now. But damn, that trade right there. Both kind of in the same spot. Both kind of in the same spot. Your dog. All right, so we talked about coming up. Now, here's where again, we were talking about being up here. It was a little bit late and is now kind of pulling back again. So, yesterday it did rally all back up again. It did find that level, that 23.6 level, and it started to push back down again. It's pushing, it's just doing it here versus doing it kind of there. So, it's not moving the full distance. It's got a lot of room to run still, unfortunately. It's got another 37 pips. The 4 hour ATR is 25, so it has the ability to get down that far. Um, hmm. It has the room. It has the room. Um, ugh. Yeah. Hmm. This is another one. I think looking at this one at about 1:30 this afternoon, I think will be a pretty decent thing, and we'll see how far we can push down. There are small levels, and again, if you look here, you can see there's a small level right here. It could be this one. I'll remove this, or we'll just move this over. There is a level here, right there, that we kind of bounced off of. Um, that's about 23 pips. That's the 4 hour ATR. That's when the news is coming out. So if nothing crazy happens, could it be to here? Could it be there? Could. It could. But we're gonna have to go through this 1030 reversal. I don't think that's actually a horrible trade either. Um, and again, the pop off that level, it would be like this, right? And that would be we're raising it, but now we're holding it, right? That's exactly what it would look like. So yeah, it's kind of yeah. I'm good with that one. So again, I think either level works well. Um, Euro pound. All right. Now we talked about this one rallying back down again. It actually hasn't found on its basing yet. It ended up looking. Looks like it based through, came back up. It looks like it's almost trying to pull a Harry Potter with this one. Problem is, again, we knew it was a 6 to 1 8. We'd been here 3 times before in the past. Actually, it looks like we did hit base, pull back, and then base again. So it looks like it did get 2 more additional hits on there. So we are at 4. Um, did try to do a little sneaky play in there. Unfortunately, there's nothing over here I'm really interested in taking a buy off of. The next somewhat decent, and again, 3 hits here. The next somewhat decent level's all the way down. Let's pull this now. Take this one off. Like the pullback on it. Just clear it so it's super clean. Yeah, got a little bit more room to run. Hmm. 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 Yeah, I think right now, I actually don't mind this. I kind of actually would like this to get a little bit farther down with the Euro news, right? With the Euro interest rate rise. Typically, again, it is weak. Um, God, I wish there was a zone over here. There's not, unfortunately. Two match. Quick bounce off that. Not a bad one either. Hmm. I think Euro pound's going down. I'm just trying to figure out where the stopping point is. And again, there's a small little level right below where we are at this 85.55. Just a little bit of a confirmation test. And again, it's a 70.18. I don't care about that, but people will. Put this up here. It'd be a target right now downside. About 50 pips. So it's got one ATR down. Right now, I think your first, for me right now, this is what I would say. I would say, if you are short, I think you're fine. I would say that there are your 2 targets short wise, right? There are your 2 targets short wise. They're not super far apart, but I think either of those two works. Again, as we have this, interest rate decision coming in. Um, yeah, yeah, it's ugh. I wish this one had a better buying area. So I think target one, target two. If we bounce off either of these two, we could potentially have the reversal back up again. But again, we need some type of a confirmation to let us know that it's the bottom, and we just don't have it yet. Euro also weakening, and again, this is kind of what we're seeing the overnight. Look at this basing of the 50. Look at this. Boom, 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 chop, 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 and it looks like it just hit and went lower. We talked about there'd be buying coming in at this level. We talked about Harry Potter kind of coming back to a base, and it did. It based, it came back and touched it. Small 20 pips. 1 to 3 is sitting right there, right? You made it 1 to 2, right? You made it 1 to 2. So, I mean, your stop loss is a break even. This is just a free trade. Um, that's 308. So it's a little bit extra. Yeah, I mean, it's all right. Not much we can do with it right now. I do think, again, watch buyers coming at that level. It stopped it before, no one on the left. So again, there is some surprise buyers sitting in there. So it's all right. It's too late to get in the trade now if you're not already in. There's even, look at that. So it's before the buyer. So we should be able to kind of get that low. Which again, another pair, European weakness heading straight down. Again, could they give us we're going to raise the 0.25 and we're going to raise the 0.25 again. We're going to do 2 in a row, right? 2 in a row based off of what we're seeing. And I feel like the market is not going to like that. Okay. Pound yen. All right, so pound yen pulled back up. We wanted to be up at this level. We wanted to see what happened from this blue line to what the next blue line looked like. Interestingly enough, it is going higher. Again, we're seeing pound strength coming across the board, but we're seeing that dollar weakness roll back in again. So the big question is, and I know it's getting close. We got 4 hours to go though. It only needs to move about 37 pips. It's got a 4-hour ATR of 35. So it basically is a 4-hour ATR on like a normal average day or whatever, right? We have room to run up to that zone. So I think that's still in play. And again, we were looking to see what happened here. Once this kind of pushed through late yesterday and we started the base in there, yeah, it should go up. So right now we're looking for this to continue to go higher if we're up at 129.56. Again, it's a 50% level right here, right? You can see the selling going here and you can see it confirming here. And now that it pushed all the way down, it's also a 50. So multiple reasons why you want to get short from that level. We just needed to pop a little bit higher. If this one does kind of come up, I'll do it with this one. If it does come up and like stall here, right? I still think you take that one short, right? Again, if it just pushes close to that level, it should have the ability to kind of drop and go lower. So, take it for what it's worth, but I do think that the pound dollar, again, the way that it looks right now, all feelings out. Again, to me, it does look like it is setting up for more of a short based trade, a dollar strength based trade. And again, maybe they say that twice that inflation is still way too high. It's not where we want to be. We're not pausing yet. We expect one more raise, right? Data dependent. If they give none of those big, dovish comments, I think again, it's a dollar strength based trade. So yeah, look at it starting to rally back up now. So somebody's listening. Somebody's listening. Yeah. Not much to say from yesterday. You can see in 24 hours, it's moved 11 pips. It's red, and it's not doing much. We were sitting right here. So it kind of went up a little bit, found those sellers. And we mentioned how it's kind of getting more and more boxed in, right? That here we had kind of the top and bottom, but then we had a new top and a new bottom, and they were coming higher, and they're coming higher. And now it's consolidating yet again. Again, I don't think this one is really a play today. It's just a proxy play. So, the yen, obviously the pound won't be there, but remember, one of the biggest reasons why this one always moved is because it was the carry trade, right? Right now, it is no longer the carry trade, right? If anything, the dollar yen is more of a carry trade than this is. So right now, I don't think this one has as much steam, right? Not putting out as much smoke as it used to. Sideways movement, no channeling. Again, not really an FOMC based trade today. Okay, dollar CAD. All right, so dollar CAD. This sucker wants to play with us. It went all the way up at 8:30 today, and then all of a sudden it's starting to pull back down again. We know 132 is going to be kind of a bungee cord. Look, it went up and then pulled back down, and went up and pulled back down again. And it said, "Yeah, forget you." It went up and then it went high, and now it's getting sucked back into 132. We were really hoping to be up at 132.45 for news, but at this point, It's run 31 pips away from it. We were close. It was like, oh God, we're so close. Look at this. We're within 4 hours. We're so close to being there. That's where we wanted to be for news, not down at the 132. So it's kind of messing this up for us, right? Again, 132 is going to be a big psychological level. There's nothing we can do about that one, unfortunately, and there's no, unfortunately, there's no, um, no major zone there. All this, all this, all this. So it's kind of ugly. 132.45, 131. At this point, if we're sitting in the middle, we are looking for a spike up or a spike down, and they could both be potential reversal levels. But again, that's going to be post trade, right? We're still pre trade, so there's not much we can, you know, unfortunately, there's not much we can do with it right now. Um, we wanted to see more movement in this one. Dollar Swiss. So again, we were talking yesterday. You can see we ended up hitting it late last night. We said, hey, listen, if there's a basing level somewhere up here, that's what we're looking for. And you can see it's come up and touched it 3 times. Again, there was the original base. We drew it. Let's take this off. And we said, hey, listen, if it comes up and starts basing, and it did. Actually, its base was right here. To really there. I would say that that's probably the draw. How much risk is that? It's 8. Yeah, we could take a little bit more on this one. Let's see. Let's bring this to 10. 10 is there. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine. That gets the other candles in. There you go. So there's 10 pips. That's 10 for 30 is right there. 1 to 3, dead on. You can see went past. So again, it was a short. We were talking about it coming through. We were talking about the base level coming in above it, and it did. The actual entry came in the overnight, and this is one of those ones that it was out at 2 o'clock in the morning. If it didn't tag there, it tagged here or tagged here. So worst case scenario, you got out of 5:30 this morning before it rallied back up again. So an easy 30 pips on this one. Again, we're looking for it to push back down again, and it found buyers where it should have. Right, I think that's a legitimate area where there should be buyers. So not the worst. Not the worst of levels. What do we do this one today? Let's see. Problem is there's already 3 hits in there, so it's like, do we want to roll the dice again? Do we? I feel like no. Again, maybe if we get up there, because again, we're seeing that dollar weakness on basically everything. Man. Hmm. Kind of same thing. It's like, oh, it's 20 pips. It's got a 4-hour ATR, sitting back up there again. Ugh. Honestly, at this point, I mean, there's your trade. At this point, I'm almost looking the other direction. Right? I'm almost looking ready to flip that in the other direction now. There's 1 of 3. God, it's even in the right spot. Oh, look at that. Let's move the basing, which I drew right through. Like 7.5 or 25. Yeah, same thing. I want to see the base, because remember, the base on this one was a little bit lower, and then when it formed the base just above, we knew where to go. Maybe this one will give us like a base here and make it even better for us. But I think right now that's how we initially draw this one. Again, it's dollar strength. We've seen all this dollar weakness come in, so maybe we can burst through and pull back again, and then take a nice little position high. So yeah, dollar Swiss is setting up. So again, easy trade on this one. You should be up 30 from that one. Very easy trade from based off yesterday. So talked about this one continuing to go lower. We were sitting where? Right here yesterday. Came down, and again, base. Did this? It basically did the same thing, right? Came down. We were like, yeah, there's nothing. We need a base. Pulled down, came back up, and it's like, all right, well, there's the top. There's a base down, and what did it do? It pulled up, grabbed it, and went lower. So this one I missed it by a little bit. I said what 140.35 is where I was looking for. You can see my profit target at 24 did get hit. It actually went lower than I went all the way down to 15, and we're sitting at 30 right now. So I got pretty close. I missed it by I don't know a few hours for where I expected this one to move to. Where it is now, also my opinion is it's kind of in an area where you're like looking at this and like, hey, listen, it's been nothing but straight down. It's just driving lower. Is this a dollar strength based trade? I feel like it's kind of what it looks like. I mean, doesn't have. I mean, obviously, it doesn't have to. The Fed can really surprise us, but seeing this much movement this far down with no real pullbacks, and the European market taking it, um, I don't know. I mean, on a pure technical basis with news, it looks like it's going to be a dollar strength based move today. So, again, we need to get lower. We need to get lower. There's some buying coming in. Again, old level, kind of punch through. I'd wait till this one gets to probably in here somewhere. Um, but yeah. So again, dollar yen is going to be the hardest one to play today because you're going to be factoring the dollar and the proxy with the yen. So a little bit more involved with this one. And then again, obviously, the more involved it is, the more factors, the harder it is to actually get a good risk based trade. So yeah, just keep an eye on it. Bitcoin hasn't broken through 29. Did it get lower? Yeah, it kind of. I guess it broke through yesterday at 11. It broke through 29 and then pulled back up and is chopping. So again, we have that dollar strength move come back in again. This sucker's back down again. So yeah, it's there. TLT, nice little pop up, nice little pop back down again. TLT also rising again, kind of like, hey, listen, if this is going to drop, you want to sell it up here. You want to short this high, not down here. Let me get up in the 102 range. Maybe we could go 50 cents on this one. Not horrible. Let's look at oil. Oh God, look, it's moving back up to 79.40. When I drew this yesterday, I told you guys I wanted to be wrong. I was like, God, I hope I'm wrong. I wanted to be 72 tomorrow morning. It was not. And again, I don't know what gas is like near you. I mean, Marin, it's probably a horrible out in California, but it's back up to 360, depending on which street you're on in Maryland. Not loving 360. Not loving 360. And that was yesterday when it was down at where were we at? 70. We were sitting here, right? 78.66. So we're a dollar 30 higher than we were this time yesterday. I don't know. At this point, it's like, God, is gas going to be like 370 before the weekend? God, horrible. Now we do have news coming out in a little bit, not stopping yet. Hopefully we continue to punch higher. Again, we do know we have selling up there, but right now, oof, with a pullback, obviously no stabilization in this one. We are a little bit early. It's about 15 minutes early for oil. No stabilization yet that we're seeing. So again, we're not quite there yet on this one. We'll come back in a couple minutes and see what it looks like, but with obviously the rally back up, it's looking more for kind of the opposite reaction to kind of see it come and roll back down. So yeah. Natural gas. All right, so natural gas. We're looking for this to push back down, and from yesterday morning, it did find an area of buying. You can see not really the greatest red, green, red in there. I'm sorry, green, red, green, but it did hit the level, and again, 9:30, 10:30. Again, it was kind of the low, and it pushed back up, found the same sellers, and made an attempt, and then came back down, and we're sitting there right now. It did come down, and it just missed the 50, depending on how you drew it. It may have hit the 50 in there, but that's the last area of basing over here. When you look to say, hey, listen, where's the last area after this big push? That's exactly what it is running into right now. Some of this will matter with oil. We were waiting for it to come down to the 61.8, kind of down to this 261. Still got some room to run. Maybe it pushes down before going higher. Again, I love to see it down 275, but the reality is it's still inside of the same channel. It's just on the bottom side of it. We were sitting right here kind of yesterday. We were sitting, it's 67 and it's at 65 and a half. So 2 pennies less. Would like to see it a lot more than that. But again, not quite there yet. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. As far as setups go in this one, I wouldn't really put much in. Like I said, we have the 50s in. We got buyers here. We're starting to put a bottom in. It looks like pretty decently. A big strong push down. We should start to roll back up again. But I don't think we can get to the 275. All right. Now, gold and silver are doing opposite things. So here's kind of what we had drawn yesterday and talked about. All right, we got to see what happens in that time frame. You can see it actually it did come up into the 1971. It kind of came up at that 8:30 time frame. The European session was already kind of sitting high, kind of smashing it in, and it's already starting to push back down again. It looks like it actually moved to a 1 to 2.35. So it's already moved pretty decently at this point. If you were short this trade, again, move stop loss to break even. There's no reason to put any risk in this one. Um, it's funny we drew this down here. I was like, yeah, what it does from here to here, and all it did is it came up. I was really hoping it was going to spike up. Adjust this. I could take it out now though. All right. Again, seeing the weakness coming early. Is there a 50 right there? Hmm. Hmm. I don't know if it's going to get all the way down to profit target. It may. There's buyers in there. It's been hit 3 times, but the 50% level should come in and be a little bit of a factor. 61, not as concerned about. This one actually may be out. This one actually may drive to that level before news today. You may have already missed this one. And if you're in it right now, it's decent. Again, your stop loss should be a break even if you want to trail it. Now, I will say, if you are not all the way out at profit before we get there, close your trade down. Okay. If we're sitting literally right here before news, shut yourself down. Right. Get out. I don't care if it's not a 1 to 3. Shut it down. Um, um, okay. Then we got with silver. What's silver doing? Yeah, look at the choppiness. So there was out. We came right back up to that same level. Right. Look at this. Look at this. Yesterday we were sitting right here. Chop, 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 chop. Right back down. Came right back up. Same sellers. Again, those sellers sitting on the top side of this one. Look at the difference between these two. Look at gold. Again, there's wicks in gold, right? There are some wicks in gold, but for the most part, all the bodies are pretty decent. The wicks, they're there. They're a little furry, but not bad, right? And then you go to silver, and it's like, oh my god, everyone has a long wick, right? Tiny bodies and long wicks. So much difference between the two. Um, hmm. Let's run a fib on this one too and see if we're gonna get some help with silver. A little bit. Honestly, it also looks like it is a it's also set for more of a dollar strength based move today. Back. Now we're rallying back up again. Hmm. These are still holding firm. Russell's coming down. It's only 0.45 now instead of zero point 0.7. Hmm. There's gonna be Yeah, I like this one short. I like it short. I don't know. I think it's a little bit too deep, but I think again, I would have to target 24.31 on this one or 21.32. Make it easy, make it a little easier, right? Again, watching gold surging. I think gold's going to be out. Unfortunately, that was the trade this morning from the level that we talked about yesterday. And again, silver should be doing twice as much. Silver getting a little bit deeper. Gold, I think, has a little bit of catching up to do. And again, the way that the dollar seems like it's rallying up right now, it's there. Hmm, it's there. Yeah. See, oil surging too right now. Yeah. Again, not slowing down, obviously. We're not quite there yet. Looking at this one on a 1 minute is continuing to surge, and you can see it's not as crazy as the 30 minute is. It's pulling back up again and it's going up into a zone. So that's not a bad thing as far as oil goes. Let oil run higher. I think it would be great if oil can give up here and then just tank. Um, yeah, I think it's probably 6 minutes. Yeah, they're calling for 2.2, 1.6. Again, they're expecting a surplus in this one. So not there yet. They're running it high. Yeah, we'll see. Push it. Should be able to clear this. One, two, three. This is four hits you. Dollar should come up into this 101.35 next before it hits any sellers. So dollar's got some room to run too. Right here. You see it. Yeah. See if we had any opening prints today. 9:15, 9:30. Nothing sitting there. It did come up on the top side. Actually, there could have been a case made for the top side, right? Confirmation at 7:30. Um, Problem is, it had to go a little deep, little deep. Looks like this one made it to a 1 to 2 before reversing up a little bit, right? Made it to a 1 to 2 before reversing up. And again, it opened here. This was just kind of a trend continuation, not so much opening print. And again, it did go pretty deep in there. So, this may be one of those hindsight 2020. Like, yes, there was no confirmed zone on the bottom side. There was a confirmed zone from 545 ahead. You could have been looking for selling because of this area. So maybe. And again, it got the 1 to 2. Is it the best trade? Not so much. And again, I don't expect this one to do a ton until the news comes out. Um, we'll see. It could potentially be out by that time. Oh god, this is ugly too. Yeah, 9:30 is this one right here. Um, there was a confirmation down here, right? There was a confirmation down here, opening here though. Uh, Fortunately, it wasn't. I mean, obviously, there's a zone sitting right there, right? You do have a confirmation off this level right here. 7:30. I like this one more. Problem with this one. Well, it did hit it. It did. Came up and hit. I feel like on this one, you just would not have gotten your entry. It's just too close. I feel like conservatively, you would have done it there. It would have been really close. So maybe, again, this is the confirmed zone, but this all happened yesterday. Here's the confirmed and the overnight, taking advantage of the overnight trend. So this is the one that is more powerful to the top side. It did open, it did come up and grab it and then push all the way down. You can see right here, right on the 1 minute, it drove in, and then at 9:31, just straight down. So it was very, very fast. It was a very, very quick trade. Um, Again, kind of aggressive, right? Um, yeah, I mean, that would have been the only thing you have right now because of the chop back and forth with all the news. I would say right now this one is clear to go lower. And again, if we have dollar strength, it's going to be because of something they say very, very hawkish, which should be quite negative. Now, NQ is the most negative of all of them right now. So again, if it is negative, it's going. Yeah. Um, yeah. Let's see. YM. Do we have anything with YM? 9:15 was all the way down here. Unfortunately, there's nothing even remotely close over there. As far as overnight levels go, mm, this is one of those ones that you could have said, okay, listen, yeah, there's one right there, right? It did push it pretty deep. It would have gotten broken. The 9:30 candle went through, but we know we got a level sitting right above it, so it should have been there, right there. So maybe again this close, you would have been looking for the confirmed level before. And again, this is an old Harry Potter level, so probably didn't get entry. And again, watching this thing accelerate forward, not surprised that it came back again. Looks like YM's kind of in the second position. Uh, yeah, so as far as opening print goes, not really. Would have been kind of a little bit late. I think you would have missed it. Russell, there's your 9:15. Unfortunately, this is you could say that yes, there is a trade here, but there was no confirmation in the overnight. So it is just a standard. Again, one candle bottom, nice strong push off of it. 9:15 was there. 9:30 was a little bit late. 9:30 was the big candle. So, and again, top side, do we care about it? No. This one pushed so far deep, you would not have expected it to hold again. Did it hit that top one? No. No, it didn't. Okay. Did it grab that one? It did grab that one. Yeah, it grabbed this. So, um, again, right now, I'd say wait for this thing to go up. If we can get this just a little bit higher, right here, could be a decent sell right there. Let's go back and look at crude real quick. Look at this. Crude is not slowing down. No stabilization. This is the best stabilization we had. Let's see what we got. Come on, I know you know it. Come on. I know it's out. There we go. So again, negative, not as bad as what it was, but also not the surplus that everybody assumed it was. Um, Again, that's why you're seeing immediate pullback on that one. So, but again, really no stabilization. So, I mean, the question is, would you have traded that one? The only kind of stabilization we had was kind of sitting right here. Really not the best. And again, so close to a level, and we just kind of missed it. So, eh, I don't love that it's up to 79.40. Mm, yeah, yeah, ugh, yeah. Not a big fan. I mean, it's doing what it should. It's doing what it should. It ran all the way up ahead of time. That news came out, pushing it back down again. So, yeah, yeah, it's fine. Again, I don't think it was a trade. Wouldn't have traded that one. So, yeah. So, anyway, we're going to sit in the doldrums for the next 4 hours. I would expect everything to really start slowing down again. Again, I don't need this on a 1 minute. We can go back up to a 15 on there. Again, you're seeing this is kind of what it looks like. Very small, right? Tiny, right? Tiny back and forth, lots of chop. Tiny back and forth. This one's going a little higher. Good. Get up there a little bit more. Russell up there. Let's see what we got. Dollar. Again, dollar's trying to grind forward. It pushed through just one more little bit. I think 101.33 ish. I'm sorry. Yeah, 101.33 is kind of where I'm looking for the next area of sellers to come in on this push. Again, this is showing. Let's see. It's trying to turn off that too. Man, dollar strength is rolling back in again. So maybe the original assessment is really what we're looking for, right? Yeah. Now that all the news is look at that, look at that. Bounce right off 132. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. From now, again, the next 3 hours, 3.5 hours, actually the next 3 hours to 1:30, I think are going to tell us so much about where this thing's going to move. So, yeah, a lot of it's going to come down to language. We'll see what kind of headlines, other kind of news, where they take this and spin it. Um, yeah, yeah, we'll see. Ideally, I'd love to. I like for me today. I like short dollar today. I just that's just my feeling is it's going to be more of a short dollar play today. But right now, with what we're seeing, again, we need that dollar strength to roll back in before that's going to happen. The dollar weakness was kind of sitting at the opposite. So we'll see. As I said, the news will be out there. People will understand. People get it. So we'll see. Do we got anything else? No, just technicals. Um, Jeffrey Epstein, nice. All right. And look at this. It's all starting to level out now. 5, 19, 17. Again, these $2 strength more, but we know what's going on with dollar. So, yeah. So, I don't think this is as big. I think the press conference is the way to go today. So, watch out for that. All right. Let's get into our giveaway for today. Wow. He's going in big again. Well, he's going for number 3. So, it's legit. It's legit. Gonna give it till 6:30. We always give it 30 seconds. By the way, the chat is disconnected, so I can't see anything in chat today. So if you guys were typing, I apologize. I should have typed that in Discord. All right, there we go. Shut down. All right. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest. You had it by so much. Neuro, I told you it's 4, not 6. Neuro's like, nah, I'm gonna add +1. I'm gonna take it today. I'm telling you, 4 is your lucky number. 4 is your lucky number. And again, after 3 days, Ernest is bullying it, but he just barely got enough to win on that one. So we'll give him his whoops, not that one. We'll give him his 250. That was number 3. Right. Give him his 250. Cost him. Cost him. There we go. He jumped ahead of Eki too by a couple pips in there. So he's going. Hey, the system is working out for him. Again, every dog has his day. That's all I'm gonna say. Every dog has his day. It's been working for him well. Like I said, the odds are, going to be stacked against him here real soon. And that's what he'll start, again, those type of systems work great until they don't. And then it's like, boom, real quick. So we shall see. All right, everybody. Well, I will be back on tomorrow morning. I'll catch you guys. Good luck today. Again, I'll probably be around at 1:30 today. I'm really just curious to see how this is going to come out. I want to see what happens in the next 4 hours. I think there's going to be some decent trades. If I see anything, I'll throw it up on Discord. So with that, I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me today, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care.